Please be seated. So this morning in John's Gospel, we pick up right in the place where we left off last week, just after the feeding of the 5,000. When morning comes, the people wake up with a sense that something has changed. That feeling of being full, that feeling of being loved, that they wanted to hold onto forever, had shifted. And an old, gnawing hunger had returned. And news began to spread through the crowd that Jesus had departed from this place. And so had his disciples. The people, wanting to feel full and loved, they try to recreate yesterday today. They go to find Jesus, to bring him back, to run through the script again. And they do find him. And when they find him, Jesus explains that what they are looking for cannot be found in yesterday's bread. What they are looking for, that feeling of love on that grassy place that they are hoping to reclaim, will not be found in achieving certain conditions or in going back. What they are looking for, a glimpse of the kingdom of God, is instead found close at hand. It is found here and now, always. And yet, then as now, we can't help but chase after yesterday's bread to feel that love. We can't help but try to go across the sea, try to find external circumstances, recreate conditions that made us feel good. Important titles, positions of power, fame and fortune, acceptance and popularity, perfection, mastery, anything to fill the void. And chasing after these things is not inherently bad or wrong, but it will hollow us out if we begin to think that the chase, or what it yields, has anything to do with the fundamental truth of who we are. And who we are is so precious that God offers that feeling of fullness and love based only on the truth of our very being. Not on our achievements, or our particular talents or brilliance, not on exactly where we are or who we are with at any particular moment, but on our being. So that feeling on the grass that day, that feeling of fullness, I think that's the feeling we get when we trust, when we really trust in the value of our whole selves. And in that same value in every other human being. During our Wednesday sanctuary evening gathering this week, I said that it felt for me like the world really needed the Olympic Games this year. Do others agree? Even with the predictable controversies here and there, an event that mostly brings us news of joy, of human beings doing their remarkable thing, is most welcome, at least for me. Yeah. What I love even more is that something has changed in the tone of the Olympic Games of my childhood. Something good. something that makes them more joyful. More and more athletes are prioritizing their mental health, giving their all to their sports, but not at the risk of their very selves. We saw it when we watched Steven Nadorshik, now affectionately known as Pommel Horse Guy, practice mindfulness meditation from the sidelines as he prepared to clinch the U.S. men's gymnastic team's first medal in 16 years. We saw it when we watched British gold medalist in diving Tom Daley relax and focus by taking up his signature knitting in the stands. We saw it when 11-time track and field medalist Allison Felix worked to open a nursery for Olympic athletes' children during the Games. Gone are the days, I hope, when we cheered on athletes who competed through gruesome injuries, physical and mental, from which they might never recover. Gone are the days, I hope, that young people watching internalize those values as the ideal. There are lots of innovators to thank for this shift, but the one I believe has made the most impact is gymnast Simone Biles, certified GOAT, greatest of all time. Yeah. The whole world watched 3 years ago during the Tokyo Games as she withdrew from team and all-around competition. And those of us not well-versed in the world of competitive gymnastics learned about the dreaded twisties, when an athlete's mind and body are not in sync. A dangerous condition that can result in severe injury. And the world initially was shocked that Biles would not risk serious injury, physical and psychological. Shocked that she would not keep chasing gold, shocked that she would not keep chasing yesterday's bread. It seems Biles herself was a bit shocked to find what can happen when even for a moment you stop the chase. She tweeted, "The outpouring of love and support I've received has made me realize I am more than my accomplishments and gymnastics, which I truly never believed before." Simone Biles gave the world, and it seems herself, a reminder of where our belovedness does and does not lie. She is an extraordinary talent, an athlete the likes of which we've never seen, and those things matter and are God-given and bring joy and inspiration to the world, but those things do not make this woman beloved. Gold does not make this woman beloved. Her belovedness is wrapped up in her very being, made in the image of God. As I watched her run across the floor with her teammates holding the American flag together like a superhero cape after winning the team gold medal, as I watched her stand on the podium with the gold medal for all-around competition, as I watched her fly through the air performing her iconic gold-winning namesake vault, the Biles 2, I thought about what these wins might feel like now, this Olympics. If it might feel different. To celebrate these achievements, knowing how breathtaking they are, while knowing how loved she would be without them, without any of it. She did this without sacrificing her very self. These medals were not yesterday's bread. They were something new. A gift to those of us watching, learning to prioritize our own health and to believe that we too are loved unconditionally. We certainly are not all Olympic-level athletes, but I'd venture to guess we all have our own version of chasing after yesterday's bread, running across the sea in an effort to fill empty space within us and to make us feel full, even when it's not good for us, even when it may injure us. And the world around us generally encourages that chase. But accepting the invitation of the feeding of the 5,000 was not and is not about a one-time material need met. It is about a new imagination, a new way of life. We will not get there by chasing yesterday's bread. And we certainly will not get there by trying to chase down God, because God is right here, ready to make us full over and over and over again. If we will commit to a new, different, and in some ways harder way of being. A way of being that revolves around the fundamental belief in our own belovedness and the belovedness of all of creation. A way of being that holds us just as responsible for our neighbor as we are for ourselves. A way of being that celebrates the unique joy each one of us brings, but does not confuse personal achievements with belovedness. A way of being that gives us permission to stop chasing yesterday's bread and accept God's gift of the bread of life.